Hello there. So I'm sorry for the delay in this review. I just got busy with other things. Now, first of all, let me just say up front that this review is going to be one with spoilers. I am assuming that by now everyone out there who's a Star Wars fan has seen The Force Awakens multiple times. I've already seen it 4 times. And this is a movie that I really don't think is going to be possible doing a review, which is spoiler free. So I'm telling you right now that this review has spoilers, and if you haven't seen the movie yet and don't want to hear the spoilers, please click somewhere else. Thank you. Now, for all of you that are still here, firstly, let me tell you that I love this movie. I loved the acting, I loved the casting, I loved the music, I loved the cinematography, I loved the special effects. I just pretty much loved everything about this movie. Another thing I loved about the movie is the pacing. You weren't stuck at one particular location for too long. One of the things I didn't like too much about the original trilogy is that you were stuck for too long on Tatooine. Somehow I find Tatooine a very boring place. You're just there for too long, whether it was in A New Hope or in Return of the Jedi. Now in this movie, there's also a desert planet called Jakku, and you're there for some time, but it's not too long. The pacing is quick. So now coming to that, this movie obviously had a lot of elements of the original trilogy. And let me tell you something, some people say that, that wasn't very good, but I think that was a very smart move. Disney has invested billions of dollars to buy Lucasfilm. J.J. Abrams and Disney could not afford to make this movie a flop. So they used the tried and tested method. They used the formula that worked. It was a sort of a blend of the first 3 movies. You had a desert planet, you had an ice planet, you had a jungle planet. Kind of like A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. So that worked. You had a young person living in a desert world, looking up at the stars, wondering about, what could be. You had Luke Skywalker in the original trilogy, and you had Rey in this trilogy. So basically, the story is about how both the New Order, which is kind of like the Empire of this movie, the successor to the Empire, and the Resistance, which is kind of like the successor to the Rebellion, are both looking for Luke Skywalker, the last Jedi. And there's a secret map which gives the location of Luke Skywalker. And pretty much both the good guys and the bad guys are looking for that map. Now that map is hidden in a droid known as BB-8, and pretty much the bad guys are looking for BB-8, and the good guys are trying to get BB-8 back to the Resistance so that they can figure out where Luke Skywalker is. So that's the story in a nutshell. Now in between, what happens is that Rey, who lives on this desert planet, meets Finn, who's a stormtrooper who turns to the good side and wants to work for the Resistance. Poe Dameron is an X-Wing pilot who has a robot, a droid named BB-8. He's given the map by Max von Sydow, puts the map into BB-8, and then he's caught. Poe Dameron is caught by Kylo Ren, who's the bad guy, who also happens to be the son of Han Solo and Leia, originally named Ben Solo, and now called Kylo Ren. So Rey and Finn and BB-8 escape this planet on our favorite spaceship known as the Millennium Falcon, which is my favorite spaceship ever. And Rey immediately starts showing some sort of powers because she's able to fly the Millennium Falcon. Of course, it takes a little bit of, that's pretty cool because they don't just show that she just knows how to fly the ship immediately. She kind of struggles a bit. She even knocks off, the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon actually hits a hut and, breaks it. And it's pretty cool the way they've shown the Millennium Falcon, not just as a spaceship, but also like a real vehicle. And if you don't know how to fly it, you're going to, go and crash into something. So anyhow, they escape Jakku. They destroy some TIE fighters on the way. Then they get captured by this freighter, which happens to be where Han and Chewbacca are. So Han and Chewbacca get to see the Millennium Falcon after years, and Han comes to realize that Rey is a very gifted person, and he's pretty impressed by the way she can fly the Falcon and about her knowledge of astromechanics, if you can call it that, because she knows what's wrong with the Falcon and stuff like that. So after battling with some people in this freighter and some creatures, Han takes these, Finn and Rey and BB-8 to a planet. I'm forgetting the name of the planet, but that's where he takes them, and he meets Maz Kanata, who's a kind of a force-sensitive person, kind of along the lines of Yoda. And on that planet, a lot of interesting things happen. Finn tells Rey that he wants to leave. He's no longer interested in the rebellion or the resistance, and he wants to leave. And the scene when she walks away with him, Maz Kanata asks Han Solo, "So who's the girl?" But you actually don't hear Han answering her. And there's a reason why that's important, because I really think that she's Luke Skywalker's daughter. And I think that Han probably told Maz Kanata that she has some relationship with Luke Skywalker. So anyways, then you see that Rey has a kind of a vision where she holds this lightsaber and she sees a whole bunch of stuff. And Maz Kanata comes and tells her that, this lightsaber belonged to Luke, and before that to his father, now it calls to you. And then she tells her that what you're looking for or what you're waiting for on Jakku is not coming back, and she's actually waiting for her family. And when she says that, she even tells her, look, what you're looking for is not behind you, it's ahead of you. And the moment she says that, Rey suddenly just says Luke. Now why does she say Luke? So she obviously has some connection with Luke Skywalker, whether she's his daughter or whether she's the reincarnation of his father, Anakin, or of Yoda or somebody. She has some deep connection with Luke Skywalker. Now finally there's a battle. Rey is captured by Kylo Ren, who turns out to be Han and Leia's son. And when he's interrogating her, he tries to use the Force on her, and she actually repels him, and she actually is able to read his mind, and comes to know that he actually is afraid that he can never be like Darth Vader. So Kylo Ren is really perplexed. I mean, how does this scavenger have such power with the Force? And then she actually escapes from there by using the Jedi mind trick on a stormtrooper who happens to be Daniel Craig, James Bond, by the way. Yes, that stormtrooper is Daniel Craig. That's Daniel Craig inside that suit. Okay, and then there's a battle. I mean, they meet. Leia and Han kind of get reconnected, or there's a reunion after so many years. They talk about their son, that he's gone to the dark side. Leia blames Snoke, who's the bad guy, for corrupting her son, and tells Han Solo that he's the one who needs to go and kind of try and rescue Kylo. So in the process, they go to this huge planet, which is the Starkiller base, and that is where Kylo Ren is. And Han tries to talk to his son, but Kylo has already kind of moved towards the dark side, though he is struggling. He's kind of going through the reverse of what Anakin went through. Anakin was tempted by the dark side, and his grandson, Kylo, is sort of tempted by the light side, and he even admits that to his grandfather's helmet. And so ultimately, it seems like the dark side does prevail with Kylo, because he ends up killing Han Solo, his own father. And honestly, well, I didn't really feel too bad, because I sort of felt that it was sort of understood. I kind of felt that this was going to be Han Solo's or Harrison Ford's last movie in the Star Wars franchise. And I think he did a great job. He was Han Solo, So anyways, after that, what happens is that the Resistance is leading an attack onto this Starkiller base, and they're trying to destroy it using fighters. And at the same time, Rey, Finn, and Kylo Ren are battling it out with lightsabers. Finn gets knocked out by Kylo. He's kind of in a coma, and Rey. And I love that scene. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is when that lightsaber falls in the snow, and Kylo is trying to get it, and it doesn't go to him, and it goes to Rey, and then they start fighting. Initially, it looks like Kylo is winning. But then when he tells Rey that I can finish your training in the Force, the moment he says the Force, it's like something awakens inside Rey, and then she just sort of whoops him. You know, it's like this knowledge that she had from before just gets awakened. So the Force Awakens is pretty much the Force's awakening in Rey. And then, towards the end of the movie, they actually find Luke Skywalker, because when Rey arrives at the Resistance base, R2-D2, who's been sort of in a coma since Luke Skywalker disappeared, and they call it a low power mode, comes back to life, and he, along with BB-8, put their plans together, and they find the location of Luke. Now, another reason why I think that Rey is probably Luke Skywalker's daughter is because of two things. First, after so many years of looking for Luke Skywalker, when Princess Leia finally finds his location, she decides not to go herself and sends Rey, who's someone she's actually just supposedly met. So Rey goes with Chewbacca and R2-D2 to this planet to look for Luke Skywalker. And there's another thing. When they come out of hyperspace and they're flying towards that planet, they're going over the ocean. Next time you watch the movie, look at the way Chewbacca is looking at her and smiling, and like, just like, like smiling. And it's almost like that smile that he knows that she's about to meet her father. And then, the last scene is just classic. Some people feel that Luke Skywalker should have come earlier. I disagree. I think this complete movie was about finding Luke Skywalker, and the way that they find Luke Skywalker is just classic. He doesn't say a word in this movie, not a word. But he just looks at Rey, and he's like, you can't really understand what's going on in his mind. We have to wait for episode 8. It's a mixture of shock and surprise and hurt. There are all kinds of emotions. And the way that she goes to that planet, and she's the only one who actually finds him. You know what? I have a feeling that all these people, Han Solo, Princess Leia, R2, C-3PO, Chewbacca, all the entire gang, the old gang, I have a feeling that they all know that Rey is Luke's daughter, and there's some reason that they're not telling her. Maybe Luke didn't want them to tell her and wanted them to say, maybe he told them, wait till she's strong enough to fight me herself, or something like that. I don't know. But I love the movie. I can't wait for the next movie to come. And I'm very happy that Disney has bought out Lucasfilm. I'm very happy that this year we're going to get Rogue One. Next year we're going to get Episode 8. Then the year after that we're going to get the Han Solo standalone movie. Then we're going to get Episode 9 the year after that. And then the year after that we're going to get the third standalone movie. I want Disney to really, really explore this franchise. I want to see new trilogies. I want to see trilogies in different timelines. I want to see a Knights of the Old Republic trilogy. I would love to see trilogies happening maybe in the same timeline, but in different parts of the galaxy. That would be cool. And, I just love this movie, and I'm so happy that all of us fans got to see the movie, and that I think pretty much everyone is satisfied and very happy with the way J.J. Abrams and Disney has done in this movie. Thank you so much. Until next time. May the Force be with you always.